It's me, Ellie, with ADHD and then some. And I've got Tasha here with me. I've decided to drag her bum into the studio every month to record with me to introduce the monthly topic because she's the one with the brains, let's face it. Hi,
Hello.
Tasha. Do you hate being here?
Um, I love talking to all of our listeners, but podcasts aren't my thing. They're your thing.
Are you getting steadily used to it?
Not yet, but I think once you've dragged me in, I don't know, for the next year every month, then
You might be
I might
okay.
might be getting used to it then.
So tell me, Tash, what is this month's topic?
This month's topic in ADHD and then some is executive dysfunction or
So that
executive
means
functioning.
all the way through the month. If you are a subscriber of the Subscribers Hub, LEODHD Subscribers Hub and Patreon, but I would recommend Subscribers Hub. If you are a member of them, you get sent to you on the first of every month. You get a comprehensive book, which Tasha normally sells on Etsy. I think they're fillable. Is it fillable for the first of the month's book?
Yes, you get a printable version if you want to handwrite it, and you also get a fillable version that you can type directly onto the PDF and reuse, delete, reuse again and again.
You could even gift it to your partner. We won't tell anyone. So you could print it out and send it to your friends, but don't tell Tasha. I think Tasha, you're going to tell me off for saying that. But yes, honestly, you can print it. It is fillable. It's a really good. So you get that on the first of the month as a comprehensive guide, and also you will get a podcast talking about the book. But also you will get on a weekly basis sent to you throughout the month some really good resources. So basically, it's like a subscription or a magazine like we used to have when we were kids, but for people with ADHD. So every week, I send out to you from my own personal inbox, I send you a resource and I send you also a relaxation audio where you can do mindful stuff. You get 3 resources every week from my inbox, and every month you get a full comprehensive book, which I think is well worth the subscription price. But I don't want to toot our own horn. But we just want to be able to give you guys um, something back. So there we are, the subscription. So if you're interested, it's on Ellie or DHD or Patreon. Just come and sign up. You'll also be a member of the Sub Hub, where we sometimes post some bits and pieces, but it's mostly to your inbox because I know with executive dysfunction and ADHD, it's good to come straight to your inbox. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get on with the questions, Tasha. Is that okay?
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Okay, why do you think executive dysfunction is one of the most understood parts of ADHD and neurodivergence? And what is executive dysfunction? Or executive
Oh,
function, rather?
yes, that's two very big questions, but I think that um, I'll answer the why do I think executive dysfunction is one of the most misunderstood parts, because I think that that's something that goes unseen a lot of the time, and a lot of us, we try to mask that side of ourselves or the things that we struggle with to fit in or keep up with neurotypical systems or neurotypical environments. But from the outside, it can look like someone isn't trying or just doesn't care, or is just in that term that we get called like why, lazy or
Like in my school reports, when all my school reports, if I look back at them now, it says Shelley, because that is my real name, everyone, but I hate it, so that's why it's Ellie. It says Shelley is lazy, Shelley's not performing to her, Shelley will do the least possible work that she can do. Shelley sits there for hours and stares at her page and doesn't write anything. Now I'm looking back, I know that that's all executive functioning and task paralysis. But then obviously the teacher just thought that I was a bit of a dickhead. So so yeah, I see what you mean. This is the things that have made us look lazy our whole life, but it's not. Now we know it's not that.
absolutely. And it's not about motivation or effort. It's genuinely about your brain struggling to start and prioritize tasks. So executive function is the it's the bundle of skills, a set of mental skills that helps us manage everyday life. And what we hear about executive function is that it's often about organizing tasks, getting started, managing time, but it also includes working memory, remembering what we are doing, holding in bits of information in our memory, in our mind, and transitioning between tasks, being able to regulate our emotions. And it's kind of like the brain's CEO.
So
The
is that
brain.
like I can remember what my mum made me for dinner in like 1992 one night on a Thursday, but I can't remember what you told me 2 seconds ago to do as my work.
Yes, that's a really good analogy, because often our long-term memory is a lot better than our working memory. So executive function often affects our working memory, so our day-to-day memory. So I this for me is particularly bad. My working memory is really poor. I can go into a room, put something on the hob, like I'm cooking something, walk out, and then I've forgotten it's on the hob. And that,
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
yes,
And I think that's what a lot of people say when they're like, oh, I'm ADHD because I forget my keys. I think, yes, that's all well and good. But I think people don't realize problems like this with executive functioning are dangerous. You know, we could set fire to the house. I used to worry when my kids were babies that I would forget to feed them. I used to dream about it every night. I used to dream that I'd forget to feed them because my executive function is dangerous.
yes, it can be. And that's when um oh, lost my train of thought already.
Well,
See,
go
that's
ahead.
my
We've
working
all got
memory.
ADHD here.
That's my working memory. That's an example of that. But I can't remember what I was going to say. It will come back to me. But a different point is that this often gets worse as well for females who are coming up to perimenopause or menopause, because
So me.
executive executive functioning is very much related to our dopamine and our ability to initiate tasks, which is also affected by drops in estrogen and the hormones around perimenopause. So that's why a lot of people have more difficulty around that sort of time. Feel like, I've had clients say to me they feel like they're losing their mind. They can't remember anything. They can't function as they used to, and that's because the hormones have such a significant impact on um, well, ADHD, ADHD in general, and particularly memory and executive functioning.
So as if life wasn't hard enough, you have ADHD your whole life, and then when you finally figure it out and get a diagnosis, you get hit with perimenopause or menopause, and then you get hit with a second stick of shit, basically. So not only are you having hot flushes and etc., coming to terms with your diagnosis, but then it might get worse because it gets worse with perimenopause.
Yes, yeah, and that, like I said, that's when a lot of people actually get diagnosed, because they realise that this is more than kind of perimenopause. But it's almost like we have, especially with late diagnosis, like we've gone our whole lives being told that, like we were saying before, had those negative messages around why can't you just do this, or we tell ourselves that we are our own worst judges, and then realizing that it's neurodivergence or ADHD can give you a whole different reframe on that, and start realizing it's not your fault, and that you just haven't had the tools and the strategies that you need to be able to support your executive functioning.
So that kind of brings me on to the next question, because we've kind of answered what executive function is. We've kind of like put in an analogy. So the third question that I was going to ask you was, when someone says, I'm just lazy, what do you wish that they knew instead about themselves? Because that's what a lot of us, the narrative a lot of us have internalized our whole life is, I've made to be feel, and you know, my mum didn't mean to do this, it wasn't a purposeful thing, but all my life by my family, my teachers, my friends, I've been a running joke that Ellie's lazy, Shelley can't do it, she's too lazy, she can't finish anything. So all my life I've internalized that, and I feel like shit about myself sometimes. So what do you think that people should know?
I think what I wish that people knew and truly felt is that these are just labels that people use when either something is hidden or something looks different from the norm, or they can't explain why something feels so difficult. So it's not that you're avoiding these things or procrastinating or getting frozen because you don't care and you don't want to do those things. You genuinely have barriers. You genuinely have a lot of guilt, stress, and frustration because you actually care really deeply about the task, and it actually does really affect you and cause you anxiety. But you cannot access that internal motivation, momentum, initiation that you need because your nervous system works differently. So I think it's reframing it to not I'm lazy or I'm useless or look at the state of my house or why can't I just get up and put that doom pile away of
Yeah.
laundry, to actually what do I need in this moment to initiate that task that is really boring, really repetitive with my particular nervous system.
I wish me and my parents knew this growing up, because I've been affected so much emotionally by just thinking, I'm lazy. I'm fucking lazy. Why can't I do anything that everyone else can do? Why am I so many years behind everyone else? Why can't I keep my house tidy like my sisters? And I think it would have been so much better if I knew that it was don't worry, Ellie, it's executive functioning. You're not a lazy cow. I think I wouldn't have internalized all this shame. And I've met so many people that carry the same narrative, that they've just felt so much shame over the years because they think it's just a problem that they can't do.
Yes, absolutely. And executive function is like one of the biggest parts of neurodivergence that people struggle with. It is probably one of the main parts that people struggle with. So you are not alone. It is a genuinely difficult neurological difficulty, not anything to do with your ability.
Yeah, it's proven. It's science, right?
Absolutely, it absolutely is,
And
and it
that's
is
what
related
made
to
me
how your
feel
brain
better.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's some everyday signs that someone might be struggling with executive dysfunction and they might not even realize? They might be just still thinking that they're lazy.
It can be anything. It can be really small things to really big things. It can be things like putting off an email that feels really small, but you're not able to initiate the response for a month, or showering is a big one. And
Clean your teeth, I hear from a lot of clients as well.
oh yeah, and brushing teeth, even showering and brushing teeth, initiating the steps to get in the shower and brush your teeth, or losing items all the time. You put it down and then you don't know where it
Bank
is.
cards, passports, keys, mobile
Oh, mobile
phones.
phones, glasses on your face, hairbands that are in your hair.
My Apple Watch, I've lost one and re-brought one and found one about 85 times. Yeah.
Bank cards for me are, mate, honestly, bank cards for me. I'm
All your fucking details with Amazon and
yeah, I have to cancel it and then order a new card. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. And
people don't realize how hard it is having ADHD. They think, oh, it's so cute forgetting your keys. No, it's not cute. It's like, it's ridiculous. I've lost
because it isn't,
people send my money.
yeah, you're right. It isn't just I occasionally lose my keys, ha ha ha. It is a constant, ongoing battle to remember where things are and not know where to start, or running late or being exceptionally early because you're so anxious that you're going to be late. You overcompensate and get there really early, or just feeling absolutely overwhelmed by tasks that seem simple to everybody else. So
And
it's very much like you could that so what I've heard a lot is we can be very good in a crisis. It's like the adrenaline,
yeah,
and it all kicks in, the adrenaline and the motivation, because it's urgent, because it's a challenge, that kicks in. But the basic tasks of doing, I need to match those two socks together and put them away in my drawer.
yeah,
That's one of mine.
yeah.
That can go on for a month, and that can
I've
sit there
never.
for a month.
I pride myself on having odd socks. I've just had to learn to be proud of it and make it my thing, because that is another one of my things as well. But the thing is, I've had this for 40 years and I've internalized this so much that it's just left me with so much shame. So it's so good to know now about executive functioning, and even down to the fact that I'll have a headache, like a really bloody bad headache, and there'll be tablets like over the side of the room on the counter, and I know if I get up and take them tablets, I'll feel better within half an hour. But I can't bring myself to do it. Is that executive function?
Yes, definitely. That's task initiation. I have the same. I take painkillers throughout the day for my pain levels from my Tourette syndrome, and I know that they're going to help. And quite often, I just can't get myself to move. It's like task paralysis.
It feels like there's a dead weight, or I can't. But if I explain that to my mum or to someone else, I always use my mum as an example, and I feel so bad because she's so great. But if I explain that to someone around me, they'll say, "Oh, just fucking snap out of it. Go and get the tablets." And trying to explain to them, no, it's not that easy, makes me look like I'm crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that in your experience unless you actually experience it yourself, because like I say, quite a lot of it is on the surface. The inner struggles are invisible, and those inner barriers and walls are invisible, you know where what people see is you've just left a big pile of stuff there to sort out, or you've left the washing in the wash bowl, or one of the classic ones, again, another one for me, is I have all my bowls and cups and spoons upstairs until that I don't have any more, and then I finally take them down and wash them up.
When
um
there's urgency, yeah.
exactly, when I
When
don't
the
have
kids have
one to
no plates
use.
and you feel like a bad parent.
Yeah, or I don't have a bowl for my cereal, because
Yeah.
I've used all the available bowls. So it's
It's normal.
it is absolutely normal, but I think you can get to a place where you don't beat yourself up, and I think that's the part. There are strategies, of course, there are lots of strategies, there are lots of ways to manage executive function and the workbook.
And do you talk about that in the workbook and in
Absolutely,
our
is
resources this month? Because we've got some analyses this month and some strategies coming out to people's inboxes, haven't we? So, do you talk about that then? Is there things that people
yes, yeah, in the
learn?
workbook there's some sort of interactive tasks, information, and a reflective task to help you sort of find out where your barriers are and what you can do to move forward with that. So the workbook very much will dig into that for you.
And the workbook is made by predominantly by you with a lot of experience, by me, that I tell you all the time. It's not like it's a workbook that's not made by someone with ADHD. It's a work. I think the thing that's special about this subscription is you're not going to a therapist or a coach and they don't know what the bloody hell you're talking about. These workbooks have been brought and sent to you by someone that's lived this life and try to implement the strategies. It's lived experience, and I think that's a whole different ball game to you going to buy a book from the shop, and the person that wrote it hasn't got any idea what they're going on about. We these All of these books are born from our hardships and experiences, right, Tash?
Exactly. We bring that lived experience in bucket loads through parenting, through ourselves, through working as an ADHD adult, late diagnosis, but also professionally, and learning about the theory and strategies and tools professionally. So it all brings all that together in a accessible format for people who perhaps don't want one-to-one coaching, or that's too much for them, or need
Yeah.
something a bit more
Or they're not
accessible
ready for it.
financially.
Yeah, exactly that. Because coaching can be expensive, 100%. But people always ask me, Ellie, how do you, because we do the Flourish subscription together, and I ring people and get their tasks sorted out with them. And people always say to me, Ellie, like, how can you get other people sorted if you struggle with getting yourself sorted all your life? I'd say, one, that's because I've learned so many strategies the last couple of years that I've been able to put into place. Knowledge is power, and it's made such a big difference to my life. And two, it's always so much easier when it's someone else's life. If I came to your house, I'd be like, come on, let's get cleaning. But if you came to my house, I'd be like, nah, let's just leave it.
But also, on that point, I also think it's important to raise that actually strategies and tools and things that help aren't going to work the same every day, and that's okay. Some of them are going to work
You
really
have
well on one
essay.
day, and yeah, and another day they might not work at all. And it's a lot of this is about acceptance, compassion, and mindset, and knowing that if you have a bad day and you can't do it that day, despite your strategies, that you haven't let anyone down, you haven't let yourself down. Just it's okay that you can't do it that day. There's no one expecting you to have to tidy up that spot in the room or put all the laundry away on that day. So it's about being compassionate with yourself and reframing how you think about yourself
I think
is
that's
the biggest
why
strategy.
being around these communities and these spaces are so important, because I used to think, oh, it's not just a bad day, it's just me, Ellie's just crap. But now I've realized, how many people have we got on our ADHD group at the moment?
Oh, like 36,000 on our Facebook group.
I've noticed that now on that ADHD group, there's 36,000 people out there that are are feeling the same way that I feel. So it's not just Ellie, it's not just a me problem. And I think that's brought me so much power, comfort, knowledge, because all of these years I've been thinking, oh shit, it's just me, I can't do anything. But now, because we're in this community and we're in these spaces and these resources are available, we can appreciate that it is not just us. And it's such a knowledge is power, and it's such a turning point, I think, for us. It's a new generation of autism. It's where we can learn from each other.
Absolutely. And I definitely share that passion for the idea that knowledge is power.
Yeah. What do you think? My executive function's crap now, so now I'm going to have to think what was the next question that I have to ask you. Um, what executive function challenge do you see people being affected by the most? I know we said showering. Should we just list a few?
Yeah, I think if we want to bundle that up into a subject, I think it would be task initiation,
Yeah.
um, getting started on tasks. That is often the barrier. So we know what we need to do. We know exactly what we need to do. We have the time to do it, and we even want to do it. We want to feel fresh. We want to have washed our hair.
The thing that I sit there spending so much time thinking I feel shit because I can't bring myself to shower. Sometimes I sit there thinking that for 2 days. It will
Yeah,
take me 20 minutes to jump in the
and
shower
you
and I
feel
won't have them
gross.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, and you feel stuck, but you feel gross and you want to have it, but you feel stuck.
I spent
Um,
the whole time sitting thinking about it and worrying about it when it would have just took me 20 minutes to get in the shower.
exactly that. So it's that gap between I need to do this and actually starting. I think that's one of the biggest executive function challenges that come up a lot. And also, like, as I mentioned earlier, working memory.
Yeah. How does executive dysfunction affect our lives? Like, I feel like it affects our work, our parenting, our friendships. You know, I've lost so many friendships because of it, because I just can't get my shit together to meet people, or my plans will change, or, you know, I think it has a bang on effect on absolutely everything in my life,
It
specifically
really, yeah.
parenting.
But it really does, because it's your brain, like I said earlier, it's your brain's CEO, it's your brain's management system. So every part of your life is affected by that. And it's just full of invisible executive function tasks. So, in the workplace, that's full of executive functioning tasks that are required of us: deadlines, prioritization,
That's why
organization.
I really struggled, and I know a lot of ADHD people that just struggle and beat themselves up because they can't stay in a job long, or they really struggle with their job because of this.
Yes, a lot of in the workplaces aren't tailored to neurodivergent brains, but that's a whole other podcast.
I'm so glad I work. I'm so glad
um,
I work for you.
yeah, I mean, I think that our brains are very
Say it
well
back. Say I'm
matched.
glad you're working for me too, Ellie.
I'm very glad, I am. um, and I think it affects us as well, in parenting. It can be really significant because we can really beat ourselves up about
Yeah, I've
the
got
mum
so
guilt
much
and the
parenting guilt, and I
oh,
pass
it's
it
yeah,
on, you know, because all my children are neurodivergent as well. So I'm like, shit, is this nature or nurture? Have I passed on all of these bad habits? You know, I found myself last night, and I'd done a video about it today. I found myself last night. Actually, I'm not going to lie. For the last 3 nights, sleeping on the chair in the front room and not going up to bed because I'd been putting it off. And then what I didn't share in the video, only on the subscribers hub actually, I did share it, is my daughter was actually asleep on the sofa next to me. So not only have I taught her these bad habits, she's also picked them up. And I can't tell whether it's nature or whether it's intrinsically in her, whether she would have done it anyway because she's neurodivergent. But I feel so much guilt because there is so many bad habits that I've passed on to my children. Like, we don't have an average routine. Like, I know my sister gets her son up for school every day, they brush their teeth, like it's all in a mechanical fashion. But with me and my kids, you know, my kids are adults now apart from one of them, we don't have so much of that routine. And I've struggled with it, and I beat myself up for that. Why can't I do things like other people? Is it because I don't love my kids?
yeah. We can really spiral with mum guilt and the difficulties around emotional regulation and rationalizing that. But I suppose what you're saying there, your frame of that is that it's a bad habit and that you shouldn't be doing something the way you're doing it. But where has that come from? Who has said that you shouldn't do the things you do in the way you do them? we're marking ourselves or comparing ourselves against
The new,
neurotypical standards of
absolutely.
things,
We think
ways that it should be.
in the neurotypical school system, we've been brought up to the neurotypical standards. And I think that's why, I homeschool my last child. I couldn't have done it with the others. They were bloody too naughty. But I homeschool my last child because I know that when I send a neurodivergent child to school, that is that she's going to be pit against, I don't know if it's all schools or if it's the same now, but she will be, taught to think the neurotypical way is the standard way. And I know how hard I struggled at school because the real world and everyone in it seems to be neurotypical.
Yes,
We hold
absolutely. But
ourselves against that standard.
we absolutely hold ourselves against the standard that we are told consciously and subconsciously that we need to live up to. And I think, going back to the question around how does it affect every aspect of our lives, I think that's where it can affect friendships and relationships, because we might forget to reply or be late consistently
Yeah.
or struggle to make plans, or we might have to cancel regularly, genuinely, not because we don't care, because we really, really do, and we really feel things and analyze things, but it's more, and we really want that connection, but we might be extremely burnt out, we might be in
Yeah.
pain. A lot of neurodivergence comes with autoimmune conditions, pain conditions, chronic fatigue, and our capacity fluctuates daily. So having friendships that are neurotypical
Yeah,
can
like
be challenging.
when we intermix, like this is another thing I've realized in my adult life. So obviously some of my family are neurodivergent, some are undiagnosed, some are neurotypical. And when you mix friendships with neurodivergence and neurotypical, it's hard because when I'm with you, Tash, I can say to you, do you know what, Tash, I can't do it. And you're like, do you know what, I ring you up in the morning and I say sometimes, Tasha, make me go in the shower, and you get it, right? But if I
Yeah.
if I said that to some of my neurotypical friends, they'd be like, just bloody do it. I think it's hard when you mix friendship groups between divergence. I think you also then feel a bit bad or guilty, and it can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, I do have some neurotypical friends and they are fabulous. They're
Yeah,
non-judgmental, and
oh
but
God, I'm not saying no, we should skip, but I'm
no,
just
no,
saying, yeah,
we're gonna segregate. No, no, but
yeah,
I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I do have some neurotypical friends, and they're really supportive and non-judgmental, and I can explain myself well. But the 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 majority of friendships I have are neurodivergent, and it is a lot easier to be able to say I feel
explain
this, or this is
yourself.
what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go, yeah. I mean, the amount of times I've said to you, your message made me feel like I triggered my RSD.
Yeah. Every time, Tasha, I send you a message, I have to double think, but I'm writing because I'm the most sarcastic person ever. And then I know that you get RSD. So I think, oh my God, I have to word it really carefully
But I
because
can
you're
just
going to
ask
think
you,
I'm
right?
hate her.
I can
Yeah.
just say, Ellie, what did that mean? And you'd be like, oh,
You're like,
hmm.
Ellie, I've got RSD. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I love you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, you love me, it's all right. So yeah, I think that, it's about finding your tribe
It is.
ultimately.
Have you, what's an executive function that you struggle with most if you had to name one, Tash?
Oh, there's a few. I think, hmm, I think for me, I have a very, very interest-based nervous system. So I can spend hours and hours and hours, literally, on my special interests, researching neurodivergence, doing stuff on
Don't
my
we know
business,
about it? Yes.
making my workbooks. But when it comes to initiating things that don't interest me, I have so little internal motivation to do it. I really have to use my tools and
Yeah.
strategies, my body doubling, or um, I have to reframe it or like say, okay, this is a 2-minute task. If I get this done, I'm going to feel better afterwards. And I have to really push myself to do that. So at the moment, I am currently staring at my chair trove of doom. So hanging my washing up is a really, really
I'm
big
in my
struggle.
room of doom actually. Everything's piled around me. You can envision it. It's like honestly, it's a shit pit. And I've been meaning to do it for about 3 weeks. Actually, I'm lying, about 3 years. And there's a wardrobe in the corner that I need to put up. And you can imagine it. Everyone's probably got this at home. So I feel so glad that when I talk to neurodivergent people, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't done anything. And they're like, yeah, I haven't had a bath for 2 years. But
Oh, mate, I honestly, yes,
do
there's so
you
many
pinch
things.
yourself still, even though you know that? it's a thing and it's not your fault, do you still judge yourself?
I do at times. It depends on my mindset. I'm so much better at not now. I'm so much better at going, meh, that didn't get done. Meh.
Yeah.
And just being like, it's okay. What am I putting on myself? Is it my expectation or someone else's? I ask
And
myself
is
a lot,
that down to learning about what executive function is? Did that change how you viewed yourself?
I think being diagnosed, supporting others with neurodivergence, knowing you're not alone, knowing the genuine struggles behind what's happening, all of that has helped. I mean, we are always our biggest judge
Yeah.
in ourselves and what we think we should be able to
I
do.
mean, I don't know. I've got neurodivergent children and they judge me without realizing. And they judge me for everything. They're very highly strung. So I always feel so judged at home. But yes, I do judge myself equally as much.
It's hard when it's your children because I'm similar. We've got neurodivergent children, and sometimes I can get that judgment as
Yeah.
well. And when it's your children, it can hit harder. Like,
And you're
oh yeah, I
already
should be
beating
better.
yourself up and then someone else is beating you up too.
We need to have a conversation about mum guilt. I think we need to have a podcast
Maybe
about
it's
that because I think that's
next
really
month.
relatable.
Next month, I have a lot of mum guilt, and we'll bring them on. No, we won't. They'll shame us. If if someone listening is feeling completely overwhelmed today, with executive function and all of this crap, what's one thing that they could try?
Um, hmm.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the
I
spot, Tash, but you're doing really, really well. No one would know that you hate being here.
I don't hate being here. I just I'm not very confident
But
in
no,
podcasts.
you're doing great. So tell me, what's the one thing that we should tell people today?
I think the probably one of the biggest strategies, there's so many aspects and there's so many things depending on what you're struggling with, but I think one of the biggest successful strategies is to make the task smaller, make that
Chunking.
mountain smaller. And I don't mean a tiny bit smaller, I mean the smallest of small steps you can get. So instead of clean the kitchen, say, I'm going to walk in the kitchen, I'm going to put that wrapper in the bin.
Yeah.
And often it is about the initiation. So once you've started, so like I've got to answer this email. Okay, it's an email I need to think of a reply for. So you might say to yourself, I'm going to open this and I'm going to type hello.
Yeah.
But often when your nervous system is overwhelmed, it's not about being productive and getting to the end of the goal or the end of the task or
It's
pile of
making a
things to do.
start.
It's making a start and just creating that little bit of movement, getting yourself up, getting your nervous system motivated. And then once you've started, often that snowballs and we get into more of a flow and we can get the task done.
So is that called chunking? I think I think it's something that's always stuck with me. I've heard that someone called that before chunking. Have you ever heard that term? I guess it means
Yes, I think I put it in my
chunking it
workbook.
into. I think maybe I've learned it from your workbook.
Maybe it is. Yes, it's called task chunking, but with a little sort of caveat in that is it's yes, chunk the task, but it almost should be called task chunking.
Yeah.
So you're
Chunking
chunking
it
it
into
down to
really,
minimal.
really small pieces. Why do
Yes.
you think, and I say this, but I know that you actually have planners on your Etsy. So I'm going to ask you about that anymore. So I'm not saying like, why don't planners work? But why don't planners, diaries, and to-do lists work for everybody? I mean, they do for some, but I do well with a list. You know, it's not all neurodivergent. Once you've met one neurodivergent person, you haven't met all neurodivergent people. You know, we're all different. And I work quite well with a list. But why do some people not work good with planners, diaries, to-do lists, and etc.?
I think it's not that it doesn't work. I think it works for certain people at certain times, but I think the problem is it's our capacity to use something consistently.
Yeah.
So being frustrated where a planner works, it might work when you buy it because it's new and you love stationery and you love the new pen
Novelty.
you bought and it's novelty. But then
Yeah.
once you keep using it, you might get bored really quickly, and it can be brilliant for one person, but for another, it can make you feel guilty that you can't use it or you can't tick off a
So it
to-do
has
list.
the
And
adverse effect.
exactly, and it can be another source of overwhelm. And then we might put a list somewhere else or get another planner, and then before we know it, we've got lists all over the place and we're feeling completely
More junk
overwhelmed.
to add to our hoarding collection.
Exactly. Although I do love a good bit of new stationery or a
You are
pen.
so the type that would love new stationery. I can just see it now. Oh, mummy, what do you want for Christmas? I want stationery.
I love stationery. I don't know why. Actually, I've heard it's quite a common thing. I put a meme on
For
Facebook soon. I'm
autistic people
digressing.
to like
Um,
things.
I, I'm I'm digressing now because you've got me my dopamine up about stationery.
I'm so
But
sorry.
a lot
I
of people
turned on
like
your
new pens.
dopamine.
But then again, I am very much a learner, aren't I?
You're a bit of a
Um,
nerd, yes, Tam.
yeah, I wasn't going to say that word, but yes, I am a nerd.
There's me saying it, and there's you getting RSD.
No, no, yeah, I'm going to go away and cry. Anyway, what was I going to say?
How
So
important is self-compassion when you're dealing with executive dysfunction?
huge. It's essential. The shame we feel and the guilt we feel rarely move us forward. They
Yeah.
keep us in that shame and guilt. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy or cycle. So self-compassion, it doesn't mean you're letting everything slide or saying I'm not going to do anything. It just means that you're giving yourself that same gentle kindness and I don't know, sort of that kindness and
That
that,
you would give to a friend.
yeah, that's what I was trying
If
to
you
say.
weren't
Like,
me, because
yeah,
I don't give you that.
sorry.
If you wasn't me, because you know when they say, "Oh, treat yourself with the same kindness as you treat your friends," and I'm like, "Oh, but how I treat my friends is I'm just really honest and autistic with them."
Well, yes, if you treat your friends like that, maybe that's the best piece of advice.
So
But like
you would treat someone that you really, really are being nice to.
you would treat your child, essentially,
Yeah.
that kind of just compassion and openness around. You
I've
do
just
not
had an
need to be
idea.
perfect.
I'm going to digress, but I've just had an idea. I think at Christmas, yeah, I know I'm going to run with this. At Christmas, as our Christmas month, we should give away planners as our subscription. Your planners, because your planners are a little bit specialised for us special people, aren't they?
God, Ellie, don't say special people.
I just get cancelled, aren't I? I'd be like, no, it's my autism making me say it. I didn't really mean it.
No, no, we absolutely don't mean it like
I'm
that. Um,
special. My mum tells me all the time.
in a fabulous, unique way, in a
I am
fabulously,
I am nothing if not
amazingly.
uniquely special. My mum says there's just one, and it's normally Ellie. For fuck's sake.
Oh,
But
the
tell me
planners,
about your
yes.
planners. Yeah, how are your planners different? And can we give them away as Christmas for subscribers?
I haven't actually made my first proper planner yet. Actually, on my workbooks, it's a lot about
You've only
working
got
through.
3 months to go.
I am halfway through one, but the difference is with the planner I'm making is it will take into account energy levels, capacity, sensory needs, breaking tasks down. It's not just a to-do list planner. This is what I need to do each day. It's very much tailored to the ADHD brain. So yeah, that will be available soon, and we can talk about that, Ellie, about how we use the
You're
planners
gonna
within the
shout at me later,
Christmas
aren't you? You're
present.
gonna be like, I sell these planners for £20 and you're making me give them away.
Well, we could talk about that at a later date.
I think it's such a nice idea in the spirit of giving.
Well, yes, once they're ready.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, I think that's the thing about planners is that a lot of them are made for neurotypical brains,
Yeah.
and also planners are great, but we often need external supports as well and other supports, like body
Like me.
doubling,
Yeah, because
like
that's what
like
I do in my
exactly.
service. I body double. So what I do as a job is I body double, I brain dump, I call people, professionals, mothers, all types of people from all different walks of life. I do it under Flourish with neurodiversity, and I am that external prop. I will prop you up like scaffolding and be like, go and clean your teeth. So yeah, sometimes we need that. We need an Ellie.
We need an Ellie in our pocket.
Literally, I'm like Polly
We
in your
should change
pocket.
the name from PA in your pocket
Yeah,
to Ellie and
Ellie.
Ellie in our pocket.
I have thought about that, but I did think it was a bit like
Mm,
self-deprecating.
not sure. But yes, what you're saying is about the external accountability and the external
Yes,
scaffolding, which is what we're missing.
external scaffolding. So you can always contact me and I will scaffold you. We chose executive function as this month's theme for our subscribers hub. Why did we feel it was such an important topic right now? What was our last month's topic? Do you remember? Oh shit.
I think last month's
It
was
was
masking.
marketing. So why did we then go on to executive functioning?
I think it's because it's another big one. It affects so many parts of our lives, parts of life, and people don't always know that it is executive functioning that is the difficulty. Or so you might feel like you're constantly behind and overwhelmed and just not good enough for life. And
Yeah.
we wanted to kind of
Make
raise
it
that, talk
known.
about it
No,
openly.
you are kick ass. You're got executive function issues.
And also wanting to sort of raise it openly and offer realistic support and that validation that you are not
Broken.
you are not wrong, or you are not failing, or you are not
Lazy.
behind.
Yeah. You're not like Kelly, don't you worry.
Yeah, there, you don't want to be.
What kinds of resources have we created this month for our members to go into their inboxes on a weekly basis?
Oh, I think that's more of a question for you,
Oh,
for
shit.
yourself.
Don't
They've got
ask
the
my
workbook.
don't ask my executive. I'm the interviewer. You're the interviewee. So my executive functioning is now really affected, and you've thrown me, and I'm lost for words, and that's definitely not an Ellie thing.
I will start. We've got our work. We've got our monthly workbook, that which is the comprehensive book about guide and toolkit about executive
And I think
functioning.
that's fully comprehensive, printable, fillable, and it's pretty and colourful as well. And that's coming out to people's inboxes, I think, tomorrow, along with this podcast explaining the book and a relaxation thing. I think I'm going to stick on the hypnotherapy session that we had with Nadia this month as a treat.
Oh
So
yes,
I think
yes.
that will be a good one. And then every week we have an analysis. You're doing some analyses this month. Can you tell us about your analysis?
I can't say that word either.
No.
So
What are you talking about?
maybe we should change the word. But those ADHD analyses, they are weekly mini audios like this, but they're probably more 10 minutes long. And
Don't worry, Ellie's not in it.
it's just myself. And they are talking about something relating to executive functioning, and they explain a concept and also give you some strategies or tools
You've got
to
some
try.
scripts as well, haven't you, coming out?
We also have practical tools and supportive prompts like scripts around executive functioning and for communication or communicating your needs, but also sort of tools, mini tools you can use and mini worksheets alongside the comprehensive workbook.
And weekly, we also release like a hypnotherapy or a mindfulness, which is basically just guided mindfulness. And I know that sounds ridiculous for a lot of ADHD people, because I thought, oh, mindfulness, I'm a hot mess. How am I going to do mindfulness? But it's actually a really slowly mindfulness thing. So we do guided mindfulness, and we send that out once a week as well. And you just stick it on when you need a minute to yourself, and it kind of starts you from the beginning of mindfulness. So if you're new to mindfulness, it might be really helpful for you to start you on your mindfulness journey. And honestly, mindfulness is for everyone, because I used to think mindfulness wasn't for me because my life's so chaotic. But actually it's something that's really changed my narrative. So it's really helpful. So we send them once a week as well, because we think that's really beneficial.
Absolutely. And following on from that, which you've just made me think about, which I think is a really important point, is that we, relating to this subject as well, we do our monthly webinar, which is Neurodivergent and Can't Get Things Done. So that's on the last Wednesday of every, I think it's the last Wednesday of every month. It's on the
Yeah,
website,
we've just
Flourish
done one. God,
University.
we've done one in the heat, and it was so busy. I thought no one was going to turn up because it was like the hottest day of the year, and
But people did, didn't they? And they were really engaging, and it was really good. But we run
I
the
was like,
same one every month.
Tasha,
Um,
can I turn the camera off because I'm sweating and I look awful? And you were like, no, you must have the camera on.
well, we are the hosts. We are the hosts, you
Hostess with
know.
the mostest.
So we have to put our mask on that we're not sweating hot and actually dysregulated.
But where can you book this webinar if you're interested in this webinar?
So you can book that through flourishwithneurodiversity.com, or you can find it on Eventbrite. We have that free webinar.
And I share the links to the Eventbrite and the hub on my Ellie ADHD page. If you're a subscriber, we'll automatically send the link to you, because why not?
Oh, and it's a free webinar. We should say it's a free webinar.
It's free. And also you get a chance to win stuff. I nearly said shit. Win stuff.
Win you get a chance to win a month free of the membership we are currently talking about.
Of Ellie. The month of Ellie.
month of the lovely Ellie, if that's what you would like.
Are you rolling your
Um,
eyes, everyone? And also a month of free subscription if you haven't already subscribed, which I'm hoping that some people might have subscribed now because I feel like it's a good thing.
yes, 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 yes. And also, what I was going to say is, you mentioned about your mindfulness, like relaxation audios. Now, these are really relevant to this topic because quite often we're not able to access executive functioning unless we are regulated. So you can put all of these strategies in place. You can use a planner, you can body double, you can task chunk, but unless you're regulated, it is very difficult to access your executive function, your higher brain function. So the relaxation, the sensory strategies, those things are also very important to being able to focus and access these executive functions.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. For anyone who's never joined before to our sub hub, what can they expect in the subscribers hub?
I think it's every month it's a collection of
Resources.
resources,
Mm.
practical tools, practical scripts for different situations. We have a different theme each month. We post exclusive content, exclusive audio analysis.
And it's getting busier now. We're building like a real little community in there as well. So, you know, you can be there's a special like subscribers chat where you can be around all the HD people and you can come into the subscribers chat if you're me in the morning or any of you and say, look, I'm struggling having a shower today. Someone give me a kick up the bum. And there will be someone there in that subscribers hub that understands and will be like, yes, go on, do it. I'll body double you. I think that's what I want from the community. I think, you know, as we get more and more people in there in that group chat, we can rely on one another to body double and you know make friends with people that are like ourselves, and I think that that will be a really good thing. So I think that's what the subscribers help hub is going to have to offer,
and it's such
as
good
well as the
value for.
resources, as well as the resources.
Oh yes, you have to remember those.
Man, you sell them resources on Etsy for like a tenner, right? And
Some of them.
that's just the resources on the first of the month. But then you've got your analyses and you sell your coaching for kind of a lot of money, I'm not gonna lie. You know, so you've got your coaching class in an analysis and all of that for what on Patreon, yes, it's slightly more expensive. But if you come to via the subscribers hub, it's like 3.79 a month for all of this stuff, which is amazing, and it's sent straight to your inbox, which takes me bloody ages to do. And when I do it, I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm doing this all for 3.79. But no, I think it's so worth it, Tasha. I think it's really good to get people together.
I agree. I agree. A community is so important,
Yeah, for neurodivergent people,
especially for
especially.
ADHD adults,
Yeah.
because we often feel quite isolated or we often feel alone, and that by the numbers on our support group, we're definitely not.
Yeah, I thought it was only one Ellie in the world. You know what my mum was saying, there's only one of you. But actually, there's loads of me out there. And that's what I found about being in the subscribers community and being in our support group. And, you know, we have a support group once a month and come into things like our webinar is I'm not alone. You know, I wish I knew you guys when I was at school because life would have been
Me
so much
too.
easier. It
Me
would have
too.
been, I would have felt so much better and probably got bullied a lot less. But yeah, if someone spent years believing they're lazy or broken because of executive dysfunction, what is the last message we want to give to them as a like summary?
That your brain is lying to you.
My brain's a liar. It's a
It's
goddamn liar.
you are not those things. You are not those things. You have been trying so hard all your life to meet expectations
Even
and
if people
systems.
haven't been realizing it, because let's face it, people don't realize, and you know, not everyone knows about neurodivergence. And sometimes you have heard cruel things over the years on school reports, specifically, you know, maybe from parents, Ellie, why are you so lazy, or blah, blah, blah. Now is a fresh start. We're all together in this, and we know that we're not lazy, we're not broken. It is just executive dysfunction, and now I know at least 35,000 people who suffer with the same thing.
And there's nothing wrong with needing more support or different systems or a different type of rest. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Don't beat yourself
It's
up.
yes, don't beat yourself up for needing different things.
Yeah. Finally, what's one thing that you hope people take away from this month's theme on executive function? I feel like we said it already, but just to wrap it up in a nice little bow so I can go to the toilet.
I think the thing to take away is it's real.
Yeah.
It's not pretend. It's a very real and valid experience and a common experience. And having more understanding and self knowledge will hopefully reduce that shame and that guilt feeling that you've been having
And
for maybe years.
not even that. I think a lot of us as well have, I've got neurodivergent adult and children. And I think that knowledge is power. And, the more I read your resources or I learn from neurodivergent people, it's information that I can pass on to my kids so they don't feel the way that I felt all my life. Like now, before I knew about, all of this stuff, ADHD and that, I would have just said to my kids, stop being lazy. But now I can sit down to my kids and I can say, Auntie Tasha says executive dysfunction is because of this,
And they're
this,
like,
and this.
yes, mom.
Yeah, see, now, it's not just helped me, it's helped me to explain to my children. It's helped me to understand myself. It's given me compassion for myself and my kids. And I think knowledge is power. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a really good place to end, and that, small changes and self compassion can have a massive difference.
And community, I think community,
And knowing
do you
you're
know,
not alone.
I have
Yeah.
received so many. I'm going to say this one last thing. Received so many inboxes this week, and that I've had to actually turn my messenger off and send them all to my email because I'm getting overwhelmed. I've received so many messages this week from so many people in our group that have said, oh my God, I feel so seen. I feel not alone. Like I feel part of a community. And this is I think someone sent you one the other day as well, saying that, how grateful they are, not to us. I'm not saying it's to us. I'm saying it's to the community because we've always felt so alone. And now people are realizing, thanks to the internet and everything, that there's thousands of us and we all have each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, and I think that's a lovely place to end.
Thank you so much. Now I can go to the toilet. Thank you. Amazing. Tasha, honestly, you was superb.
Thank you. And I got my flow towards the end.
You got your flow towards the beginning, girl. You were good. And that's from me. And, I'm autistically honest. So I would say if you were crap. But amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tasha. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find our links in the Ellie AudHD, AUDHD on Facebook, and you can join straight to the subscribers hub. If you want to pay a lot of money, you can find us through Patreon. And yeah, and you can find the links to Natasha's
Not a lot of
website
money to be, not a lot of money, not a lot of money on Patreon.
in the subscribers hub.
Yes, a
You
little bit,
can
yeah.
find Tasha's website www.flourishwithneurodiversity.com or mine, which is www.leaudhd.com. Thank you so much. It has links to all of our platforms, all of our support groups, all of our everything, all of our Etsy, all of our Eventbrite, blah blah blah. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm gonna go and
Thank you.
ventilate. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.